your background, your whole life, you've been an entrepreneur. So I'd like to spend some questions on that. I've actually had several questions from fathers in regards to being an entrepreneur to focus on. Because in my opinion, a fearless father should either be an entrepreneur already or really want to be one, and then definitely also want to teach his children what is needed to be a successful entrepreneur. So I was wondering, what you as a lifetime entrepreneur, what's your philosophy on being an entrepreneurship?
Well, here's the thing. So when I was 13 years old, I started working at a local pawn shop. And by the time I was 15, I had decided that's what I was going to do for a living. I said, I want to do this. I love this. I love being around the people. I went to summer school and night school for about 18 months. I had enough credits to graduate the beginning of my junior year of high school. So I worked every day my my junior year and my senior year. And then when I was 18 years old, I wanted to go out on my own, but I didn't have any money. I mean, I was broker and a convict. I didn't have any money whatsoever. Came from a very poor family. My dad was an amazing man. He just wasn't a great businessman. We lived in a little 600 square foot house. There were 4 children. My dad probably never made over $15,000 a year in his life. And so I thought, how am I going to get out on my own? So there was a couple of guys that I had met that had a lot of money, and I approached them and said, let's form a partnership and open our own business. And they said, how old are you? And I said, I'm 18. They said, we've never had anybody 18 years old approach us. And I said, well, listen, I've got experience. You got money. We need to put it together, open our own pawn shop, and we'll take it from there. Well, we did. And then we later sold out 9 years later to a Fortune 500 company. But it was because I took the initiative. Right? See, that's where we're missing it. We're waiting on people to come to us. They're not coming to you. Listen to me. They're not coming to you. You've got to go to them. You got to be the aggressor. You got to show the initiative. You got to reach out and say, hey, man, listen, I've got an idea that I think will be amazing for both of us. And you're going to hear no after no after no after no. Well, my mantra is can't, couldn't do it, and could did it all. Right? It's like, hey, keep on, keeping on, keeping on. I also say that we need to fear missing an opportunity more than we fear failure. See, I'm not afraid to fail. That's inevitable. That's part of the success, right? If you just sit on the couch every night and you go, man, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to go out there. What are you afraid of? I mean, like, what is it? People are going to say, hey, Klaus tried this and it didn't work. What's for dinner? That's going to be the extent that they talk about it. But we allow that to always hold us back. Klaus, I couldn't lay in bed at night and think, would it have worked? That would kill me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it. And if it doesn't work, I'll pivot and turn and change, and I'll do something different. But man, I want to live a life of adventure. I want to go for it. I don't want people to hold me back. And so me being an entrepreneur is going for it. It's like you can go and punch that clock if you want to and work for the other guy. You're going to make the same regardless of how hard you work. I don't want to do that. If I want to make more money, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to invite team members to come on to take us to that next level, right? I want to be able to go, you know what? I make my own destiny and way. I'm a Christian by faith, so God is in charge of my future, and I realize that. But I got to work like it depends on me and trust like it depends on God. And that's the way I live my life every single day. I love being an entrepreneur. I haven't had a paycheck in 40 years. Right? I've stopped working for the other guy when I was 18 years old. Some people say, well, I don't have the ability to do that. Yes, you do have the ability to do that if you want to. You just got to be able to formulate a plan to execute on a daily basis very consistently until you can make that side hustle work. You can quit working for somebody else if you want to. Nothing wrong with it if you want to work for somebody else. That's great. But if you don't want to, I promise you, you can work hard and consistent. Have that grit, determination, and perseverance. You can excel at everything you do if you want to. Consistency is your number one tool, though.
Nice.